Tensions erupt as Iran warns of a broader war if Israel strikes again. The US hits back with its toughest sanctions since 2018. Tehran vows defiance, rallying allies and missiles. A regional firestorm is brewing, and no one is backing down. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has warned that any future Israeli attack will be met with a broader and more forceful response. On July 31st, IRGC spokesperson Brigadier General Ali Mohammad Naeni said Iran's retaliation would not be confined to familiar fronts and would be significantly more punishing than before. He stated that if Israel initiated a new conflict, Tehran would take control over how and where it ends.
The geography of the response and the battlefield may change, and Iran's reactions will be more crushing than previously observed. If the Zionist regime launches a new attack on the powerful and resilient Iran, the initiative to end the conflict will be in our hands. We will not let the sirens in the occupied territories stop, and the enemy has the opportunity to leave the shelter. They will experience more escape and displacement than the 12-day war.
The remarks follow a deadly 12-day conflict last month in which Israeli airstrikes killed hundreds in Iran, while Iran's missile salvos killed 28 civilians in Israel. Despite public declarations of success, Iran's leadership has not addressed the significant toll of the fighting or the intelligence failures that preceded it. Naeni emphasized that Iran's missile strikes disrupted daily life in Israeli territory and warned that, in a future war, Israel would face even more displacement and instability.
Iran's reactions will be more devastating than what was seen before. It is quite clear to us that the recent statements by the leaders of the Zionist regime are due to their fear of Iran's national solidarity and the country's missile power.
Former IRGC chief Mohsen Rezai echoed the rhetoric, declaring that Israel would eventually be eliminated and that Iran's punishment would be lasting and irreversible.
A day will come when great revenge and severe punishment will be carried out, and Israel will be wiped off the face of the earth forever.
Iran is also working to consolidate regional alliances. According to Emirati media reports, IRGC Quds Force Commander Esmail Kahani made a discreet visit to Iraq to meet with senior Shiite political and militia leaders. The meetings reportedly focused on reinforcing unity ahead of Iraq's parliamentary elections. During the recent conflict, Iran launched 22 waves of missile strikes on Israeli cities and retaliated against US attacks by targeting the Al Udeid airbase in Qatar. Although a ceasefire was brokered on June 24th, military threats from both Tehran and Tel Aviv have continued in its aftermath. The US Treasury Department has imposed sweeping sanctions on more than 100 individuals, entities, and vessels linked to Iran, marking the most extensive Iran-related action since 2018. The sanctions focus on a global shipping network reportedly controlled by Mohammad Hossein Shamkhani, son of senior Iranian political advisor Ali Shamkhani. US officials say the network is responsible for transporting Iranian and Russian oil, primarily to China, generating tens of billions of dollars in revenue. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the action targets how regime elites in Iran leverage their positions to accumulate wealth while funding destabilizing activities abroad. Michael Falkender, Deputy Secretary of the Treasury, stated that the Shamkhani-controlled operation is a significant part of Iran's crude oil export system. He described it as an example of Iran's systematic abuse of the international financial system and noted that the network operates through layers of front companies and foreign passports to evade detection.
Today, Treasury is sanctioning more than 115 individuals, entities, and vessels that make up a vast shipping empire controlled by Mohammad Shamkhani, the son of Ali Shamkhani, a top political advisor to the supreme leader. Hossein Shamkhani's network, which controls a significant portion of Iran's crude oil exports, has touch points around the world. It's a clear example of Iran's flagrant abuse of the international financial system helping both the regime and Hossein Shamkhani himself generate billions of dollars.
The new sanctions include 15 shipping firms, 52 vessels, 12 individuals, and 53 entities operating in 17 countries, including Italy, Panama, and Hong Kong. A senior US official said the move will complicate Iran's ability to sell oil, but is not expected to cause major disruptions in global markets. Secretary of State Marco Rubio emphasized that the United States will continue to apply maximum pressure on Iran until it agrees to a deal that ensures regional peace and stability and fully abandons its pursuit of nuclear weapons.
Today's actions underscore our resolve to target those who enable Iran's illicit oil and petrochemical trade and to cut off the regime's means of funding its destabilizing activities.
According to the country's student news network, an Iranian Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson called the new sanctions a clear example of America's hostility towards the Iranian nation. According to a US Treasury statement, the Shamkhani family controls a significant portion of Iran's crude oil exports, and while Ali Shamkhani, father of Hossein and advisor to Supreme Leader Khamenei, was sanctioned by the US in 2020, the family owns exclusive properties around the world and has obtained foreign passports which allow them to travel undetected to conduct business overseas. Three sources familiar with the discussions told CNN that the move comes as President Donald Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, has privately told people that pursuing Iran nuclear deal talks are no longer a short-term priority for the administration following the US strikes on Iran's nuclear sites. Oil sale profits are a key source of revenue for the Iranian regime, which the Trump administration is seeking to drive down. A Treasury official said that at the beginning of the year, the Iranians were exporting about 1.8 million barrels per day, and the most recent US figures show that Iran is now exporting about 1.2 million barrels per day.